Good morning everyone. Now, I don't know how this video is going to come out because in an ideal world, you use the front of your camera to record. I'm using the back of the camera just because I'm using an old phone and I'm hoping the quality is going to be better. Now, I thought this would be quite an interesting video to do. Hopefully, you get to see, well, there's not much of a sunrise behind me, but in front of me, there's quite a nice sunrise. And I thought it would be quite a nice analogy to be saying how we're in a new phase, a new dawn of Yugioh in a sense. Now, why am I saying this? Well, very simply, one of the biggest changes to Yugioh is over a short month away. Now, some might think that big change isn't everything, and what I mean by that is it's the introduction of extended art cards. This is something that we've been screaming out for as a Yu-Gi-Oh player base for a long time. Now, at the end of the day, the extended art form is not going to change how, like, it doesn't make the card better. But what it does do is it does take a giant step towards what other TCGs have done, and they've done it really well. Whether it's for a collector's factor, whether it's for just general visual, not appreciation, but just general visualization of the cards, it brings them to life a bit more. Now, this does lead into other questions about the Grandmaster rares and everything else in between, and we'll talk about that shortly. But we're going to get the first taste of this in the TCG, and we're going to get that in Rarity Collection 5. Now, what you need to remember is the OCG currently have, I think it's called like Limit Over, is it Limit Over Art or Limit Over Collection, something like that. But that's where they're getting their Grandmasters, that's where they're getting their first look at the extended art cards. Now, I'll be very amazed if we get something like that in the TCG. Like, our products are always a little bit different in that kind of layout. So the question of where does the new Blue Eyes, the new Dark Magician cards, the new Dark Magic Curtain retrain come into play? You've got the brand new Synchron Trap card. Like, there's loads. And the question is where do they come? So for the TCG, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as of the time of recording this video, of exactly when that's going to happen. But let's just bring it back to the here and now. The first taste of extended art cards we're going to get is going to be Rarity Collection 5. In there, we already have confirmed Dominus Impulse, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, Kurikara Divincarnate, and I believe it's Shooting Quasar Dragon. Then there'll be 6 more. So we're only going to get 10 extended art cards. Now, I don't know as of yet if we're going to follow the same as the OCG, and I really hope we do. But for the OCG, specifically for the new cards, we might not follow it for the Rarity Collection 5. But specifically for the new cards, the way that it works is the card come as original ultra rare. Obviously, Rarity will be probably a little bit different, but it comes as the original artwork. So the standard borders, the standard frames, and everything else in between. Then you get an extended art card as an ultra rare. Then you can also get that same extended artwork as, I think it's called like a, I don't know if it's officially called a Starlight Rare in the OCG, but basically the equivalent of our Starlight Rare. And then the final stage you get is a Grandmaster Rare. Now, the Grandmaster Rares are going to be incredibly weird. And what I mean by that is, to differentiate a Grandmaster Rare, it basically has Egyptian symbols, or it's like a black border around the entire card with gold Egyptian symbols. Now, currently, depending on what one you get, but currently in the OCG, I think what I've seen is, I think it's like the Dark Magician Girl, or like the Dark Magic Curtain retrain, was something crazy. It was something like $20,000, which is mental. I can't think of a booster pack accessible card in Yu-Gi-Oh that is of that level. Ungraded as well, by the way. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the same for the TCG, because I think the big question that we need to ask ourselves when these get printed in the TCG is, we currently have two different, there's probably more than two, but right now, the big difference is there's two distribution centres. There'll be one in America somewhere, and there's one in Europe somewhere. So that's why you end up getting European print cards. The other thing that's going to be a little bit different from the OCG is that we also produce different language cards. So there'll be English, then there's French, German, Spanish, so Italian. So basically the question then comes down to it is, when these Grandmaster rares, which are, what makes them so coveted is that they are 1 of 100. So every card as a Grandmaster rare will only be printed 100 times. Quite like the 10,000 Dragon, there is no reason whatsoever for those cards to ever be reprinted in that same way again. And as mentioned at the start, it doesn't change the way the card performs. Like, it's not as if, oh, you have a Grandmaster rare, it does this. The Grandmaster rares are not really, like, if you really want to flex on people at an event, you probably play a Grandmaster rare. But if you're rocking up to an event playing 3 Grandmaster rare Dark Magician, you're crazy. Crazy. I personally would have been quite nice for the Grandmaster rares, actually, thinking about it, to be YCS prizes, like big achievement pieces. And then what I would have liked the numbers to have been is, I guess it's quite difficult because you would have had 20 cards or 10 cards or however many there are as Grandmaster rares. So it's like, unless you're going to give the winner of a YCS, like, I can't remember if it was Dragon Ball or something. It might have even been Lorcana, but maybe it should have been first place got number 1 of a particular artwork. So like if you win a YCS, you get this particular overframe, and then that would go all the way down to 10th place. So if you're in 10th place, you'd get, you know, whatever the number 10 in the serialization was. So like, if the card was 001, 002, blah, 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 you would get that. And then the first YCS of that event, we'd be like, here you go. And I'm just going to use the Dark Magic Curtain because that seems to be the most popular one right now. So you win the first YCS of the year, you get number 1 of Dark Magician Girl, Dark Magic Curtain. And I think that kind of like really bumps up the prestige of the tournaments. Now, don't get me wrong, I also do quite like the fact that these can be found in booster packs. So little Timmy at your local environment can pull a Grandmaster rare. What I really hope does happen though is, it's kind of one of these ones where, and I think it's going to be nearly impossible to not happen, but if little Timmy was to buy Grandmaster rare, he's not going to know what he's got. So obviously, number 1, you kind of want to protect little Timmy from, you know, you don't want someone going, hey, do you want this Legend of Blue Eyes that I got in a common from the structure deck? And he's like, hell yeah, here, what card do you want? Oh, I want your Grandmaster rare. You kind of don't want that to happen. And I'm not saying everyone at a community is like that. So a lot of communities are very, very good at it. A lot of them will be like, hey buddy, here's a sleeve, here's a top loader, where are your parents? Hey, by the way, your child just pulled a card that is worth 4 figures, FYI. So you kind of want to maintain the collectible market. At the end of the day, and this is quite going back to Kyber as well, at the end of the day, when a card is limited like that, say there's 100 Dark Magician, right? There's no guarantee that all 100 Dark Magician will be pulled. Usually the way this will work is someone will pull a card, and there will be someone out there that will keep track of these, that will be like, It'll be like Willy Wonka's golden ticket. It'll be like, hey, by the way, Dark Magician number 68 was pulled. Yeah, I know, there was a reason I chose that number. And then someone will create a spreadsheet that will show you all the different cards. So what I'm trying to get at is, unless every single product in the entire world has been pulled or like opened, there could be years down the line where someone's got a collection or someone buys a random booster pack and pulls one. I've realised that I have kind of tailed off a little bit, going back to my example of comparing the OCG with the TCG in regards to the Grandmaster res. Because because we have different languages, you do have to question where the OCG, obviously they only play with one language, right? Does that mean we would get 100 Dark Magicians in French, 100 in German, 100 in English, for both? So 100 European print and 100 American print. So that then starts expanding our card pool. And also what you do need to remember is that over in the OCG, a lot of them are collectors, and a lot of them do like to collect TCG cards. So the market for the collections of Grandmasters, it still yet remains to be seen as to whether or not the demand will be as crazy high. But this is like a baseline thing that I try to remind every single one of you of. Yu-Gi-Oh, or just card games in general, are a very baseline economical regard in relation to supply demand. If there is 1 million copies of a card, there is going to be, and even no matter how, 1 million copies of a card, and it's very deck specific, the supply is going to far outweigh the demand. If you flip that around, and there's only one print of a card, and it's amazingly good, the demand is going to be incredibly high. So, in short, at a sneak peek weekend or whatever weekend, the first box to be opened, if that was to have a Grandmaster rare, that will be insanely coveted. And the price will start to slowly go down the more and more is opened and the more and more is found. Over time, they might go up in price, but yeah, I have kind of digressed a little bit in regards to this, but Grandmaster rares, when we get them, be prepared. Going back to the extended arts, okay? So the cards that we're going to get in like just under a month. On top of that, Rarity Collection has always been an insanely good set. They were always going to struggle to beat Rarity Collection 1, in my opinion. Like, Rarity Collection 1 to me was probably like the perfect set, because they reprinted, obviously Rarity Collection 2 was good, but Rarity Collection 1, they reprinted so much, like all the basics, like Ash, Imperm. At the time, these hadn't been in, I think there'd been like 1 or 2 structure decks or something, but Ash, Imperm, Ogre, Veiler, you name it, like the whole list goes on, the Biru, da 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 da. So in this one, we've got exclusive artworks, which are basically artworks of cards with like a catchword, I guess. Basically, Cross Out Designator just has a big giant bold no added to it. So they're a little bit weird. Like, they're cool, but they're a little bit weird because it seems that Konami are also leaning into the chibi artworks. So we get 10 more chibi artworks in the new Battles of Legend as well, which will come out towards the end of the year, or like June, July, so middle of the year. So basically these artworks are cool, they're unique, you're only going to be able to get them in this set. My biggest issue is not all of the tag words I don't believe have been translated. So it's like you get some really cool ones in the form of Cross Out Designator, which basically just says no, but it would have been better if that was on Judgment. But then you get some really you get some odd, like Zeus. Zeus is still in kanji. So it's kind of like, I would have rather them all be in kanji or all be in English. But I suppose you're asking for trouble then, because then you need to change it from, if you change it depending on region, that then becomes a little bit different. So it's like, oh, you need to translate it to French and like transferring the artwork across and everything else can open up some doors. So I don't know. I'm massively excited for Rarity Collection 5. Massively excited. And it's looking to be like a very strong year for everything, for collectors, for players, for just the casuals as well. So the casuals have a chance to pull some really insane valuable cards right now. We take a look at the first set of the year that we've just had, and we got Forbidden Crown. Forbidden Crown's in this grey area right now, but it kind of follows suit with what most were expecting. When it first came out, because it was so close to YCS 300th, the hype or the demand for it was a lot higher. And then we get, after YCS 300, it's now started to really settle down in price a bit. You've still got the Fallen of White, which is quite high, but that fits in like a fan favourite deck in the form of the branded deck, but then also fits in probably arguably the best deck of the format, being branded Draco Tail. So kind of see where that's covering. So then look a little bit further ahead, you've got Blazing Dominion, which comes out in May, giving us support to Red Dragon Archfiend, which is again a fan favourite. It looks really cool as well, like the new cards are insane. We also get like a brand new Solemn Trap card, and there is another card in that set, and I can't remember what it is, but it's another generic card in that set that's really good. It's quite annoying that I can't remember it off the top of my head. But then we get all the support cards for like the cards that came in. So we get the next lot of lore, so the power patrons for Medius the Pure. We then get support for like Elven Notes as well, and that new support card for Elven Notes is really good. So it's quite nice that it supports the stuff that was brought in Burst Protocol. So yeah, it's looking good. It is looking really good. And then taking a look into the future, getting the Battles of Legends set coming out. I would be amazed if we don't get the brand new Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Stardust, Red Dragon Archfiend Overthrown cards in the upcoming, like this year. I'll be massively amazed, but I wouldn't be massively surprised. Like sometimes this stuff gets decided mass amount in advance, I reckon, so you never know. We don't have, as far as I know, there's no more there's no more European YCSs that have been announced as of yet. We're coming to not even the close, but we're partway through the third quarter. We'll be going through the fourth quarter, which will be the Blazing Dominion quarter, and then we'll be into national season. And then it feels like it was only yesterday that we were in France for Worlds, and this year I believe it's Tokyo, which, now that's like the golden dream. To be able to go, like, I would probably pay to fly to Tokyo, but to be involved with the I mean, even it sounds kind of crazy, but even to fly to Japan and not be involved in it, but just to see it, like, I just feel that, don't get me wrong, the French event was incredible. Like the museum, the staging, like that's what you want. You want, Worlds is the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh event of the year. That's our, that's our World Cup, that's our Euros, that's our Super Bowl. Now I'm not saying, obviously, Super Bowl is on a whole new level, so is the World Cup, and everything else in between. But that's our end of season. That's our massive end of season celebration. The best of the best are going to battle it out to be crowned the best Yu-Gi-Oh player for that last season. And around the world, not just in like Europe or America or anything, but to involve America, Europe and Asia is just insane. So you want it to be a spectacle, you want it to be streamed. It's just, you know, insane. So, and at the end of the day, depending on the location, every production team is going to do it differently. France was amazing. France set a bar. So now it's Japan's time to go, hold up, now let's do it. And yeah, I'm actually really excited. So I think before France was Seattle, question mark. Yeah, so looking forward to how much of a spectacle it can be. I think it's going to be absolutely insane, and I'm super excited for it. So yeah, Yugioh is in a good position right now. Like I've already said, collectors, players, casuals, however else you want to kind of not title yourself, but however you want to identify yourself in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh categories, I think you're well and truly covered this year. So keep an eye on it. You've been warned. Rarity Collection 5 will be impressive. Like I said, it's a landmark in history. Rarity Collection 5 will go down. I mean, obviously you could probably mark this is the first set that we got Link monsters in. This is the first set we got pendulums in. But this one is going to be, you know, again, first time we got a quarter century, first time we got a Starlight Rare. This will be the first set we got overframe or like extended art cards in. And then it'll be, this is the first set that we got Grandmaster in. I don't know, like, to my knowledge, the most expensive single playable card was Appaloosa by the Goddess as a Starlight Rare. When it first came out, it was like $1,000, which is crazy. And then IP was like 800 quid, but that's generic. Whereas the overframe cards, I really do hope that we keep Ultra, so anyone can get them. Ultra overframe, so anyone can get those. And then overframe Starlight Rares for those that want bling but don't want don't need it to be Grandmaster. Anyway, I am where I need to be this morning, so ooh, nice. Yeah, I will be heading into work today. Currently Thursday, and tomorrow is pre-day for UK Open. So super stoked for that as well. Can't wait to do that. Got a really great team to work with again. Get to work with Alex Robertson again. Get to work with Gabriel Nets for the first time as well. And I get to do that not only for Advanced TCG but also for the Genesis as well. It's going to be really cool. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.